Chapter 28. Return to the capital city of Rimiru. Rimiru took everyone back to Tempest, where all the supporters were eager to greet him. On his way to Tempest, he saw Valdora, who was at the entrance of the city gate and was waiting for him. Valdora saw Rimiru and approaching, and immediately rushed to him. "Rimiru, why didn't you inform me that you were going to battle? I thought we were friends," he said with a pout. Rimiru had sweat dropped from seeing the way Valdora was acting before saying, "Go on, Valdora, I didn't call you because you would go overboard and destroy the entire forest in the process of your rampage." Valdora had a dejected look. After hearing that, "That may be true, but you could have at least told me." "Valdora, you have no control whatsoever when it comes to handling your power. I, on the other hand, learned to control my powers a long time ago," Rimiru said to Valdora while puffing out her chest. "Huh? I have more control than you, and you know it, Milim," Valdora shouted at her. "No, I have. After all, I was able to fight Luminous without destroying her with one punch, so there," Milim said with a huff. "I don't think that is something to brag about, and Luminous looks very mad over there," Rimiru thought to himself. Indeed, Luminous was boiling with rage, but not because of what Milim said, but because of the mere sight of Valdora. The paladins were wise enough to shift and give her some space before she eradicated them with her aura alone. Valdora, who was glaring at Milim, sensed a massive killing intent directed at him, which gave him a pause. He looked around and saw a silver-haired lolly with a few scratches on her body, glaring at him. He was confused on who she was and why she was glaring daggers at him, but he later recognized her as the Demon Lord of a nation he blew up a long time ago. "Well, the Demon Lord Mimulus, what are you doing here? Are you here to see my greatness?" Valdora laughed, not realizing he just revealed the entire palette. Just revealed to the entire paladins. Rimiru face-palmed himself for the actions of Valdora and the headache that it will cause Milim, who was shrugging her shoulders and saying things like, "At least I'm not the one to reveal it this time." The paladins were surprised after hearing the true identity of Luminous being a demon lord. So our god Luminous is actually a demon lord. It's actually Demon Lord Luminous Valentine all along? Arnaud asked. "I'm just as surprised and confused as you are, Arnaud," Batches said. "Hinata, care to explain this to us?" asked Hinata. Hinata sighed before answering. "It's just as you heard. Demon Lord Valentine was just a stand-in for the actual Demon Lord Luminous Valentine. I confronted her when I discovered the truth, and I was suddenly defeated. She promised me that she would protect Luminous and her people and I agreed to work for her in exchange." "But why didn't you tell us about this?" Litis asked, with the other paladins murmuring behind her. Hinata coldly looked at all the other paladins. "Because we wanted as few people to know about this as possible. If any of you had figured it out, I would have no choice but to execute that person." All the paladins gulped after hearing that. They wanted to ask more questions, but the look on Hinata's face was saying that they should choose their next words carefully. Finally, Sarah was going to ask a question, but Hinata interrupted him. "Just so you know, Luminous means a lot to me, and I live to see her will fulfilled. If any one of you insults her in my presence, I will not hesitate to cut that person down," Hinata told them. The other paladins nodded their heads after hearing that. They wanted to voice out how Hinata said sounds a lot like a love confession, but they were not suicidal enough to say that to her face. Luminous glared at the still laughing Valdora. "You evil dragon, you do not only did you destroy my nation, But the you even have forgotten. You have the gall to forget my name. I will end you for this insolence. Luminous wanted to rush at Valdora, but she felt someone grab her hand. She turned around and saw Hinata was looking at her and was giving her a serious look. Lady Luminous, I know how you feel, but you should just remember that you are still recovering from the damage that was done to you at the hands of Demon Lord Milim. Please, you must save your strength, Hinata begged her. Luminous looked at Hinata for some minutes before she sighed. I can never refuse you anything, can I? All right, I'll calm down now, only because of you. Hinata smiled and nodded at Luminous, not realizing that she was still holding her hands. Luminous noticed but decided to keep this from herself. Note from author, I am very much serious about shipping these two in this story. I'll be shipping more as the story progresses. Back to the story. Rimiru saw the hand-holding, but kept it to himself. He motioned for Valdora to stop laughing, and Valdora saw that Rimiru was calling him and stopped. Valdora, you should really read the room sometimes, you know, Rimiru said with a sigh. Valdora had a confused look. What did I do? Something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Milim shook her head. Wow, Valdora, even I'm not this ignorant of this situation. Rimiru saw that everyone was has calmed down a little and sighed in relief. Well, no need to keep standing here. As the leader of the entire nation of Jura, I welcome you to the capital city of the Jura Tempest Federation. Once he said that, he walked inside the gate with Milim by his side, holding his hand, and following him behind were Beamar, Shinon, Saye, Caria, Ultima, Litis, Hinata, Sayer, Renard, Arnaud, Batchus, Litis, Fritz, and the other paladins. Once the paladins stepped into the city, they could not believe their eyes. The capital city of Tempest was very beautiful and well developed. Everything looked so neat and new, and everyone were minding their own business with smiles on their faces. The buildings were so big, and some of them were as big as the buildings in Ingracia. What really caught their attention was the giant golden statue of Demon Lord Rimiru and Demon Lord Milim holding hands with smiles on their faces. Note from author, I bet you guys have forgotten about the giant statue. Back to the story, Hinata was the most shocked of all the bunch. She could not believe the beautiful nation was what they wanted to destroy. She felt happy that they were stopped before they could carry out their plans. And Caria looked around the city with wonder. Wow, my lord, this city is really big and beautiful. May I be permitted to look around? Rimiru looked at her and smiled. That's right. This is both your first time here. Shinon, please take both Ultima and Caria around the city for a little sightseeing. As you wish, Lord Rimiru. Shinon answered like the perfect secretary. Really, master? Thanks a lot, Ultima answered like the perfect little sister character. Please follow me, ladies, Shinon told them as she began to walk away from the group. Ultima and Caria followed her into the city. Luminous turned to Rimiru. I didn't ask this before because of all the drama, but the purple-haired girl is Violet, one of the primordial demons, right? Rimiru looked confused for a second, but he understood who Luminous was talking about. Oh, you mean Ultima, right? Yeah, she and Caria are my new subordinates now. Luminous had a shocked expression. You've given her a name. Do you even understand who those two are? Hinata looked at Luminous. Who exactly are they, Luminous? Those two are one of the 7 primordial demons in existence. Their powers are said to be slightly lesser than that of awakened demon lords, and they bring chaos and destruction wherever they go. To have required names means their powers are now equal to or above that of awakened demon lord Rimiru. How could you have been so reckless as to name 2 primordial demons? Luminous asked with a panicked voice. The other paladins had surprised look after hearing just who those two girls were. They could not believe that demons as powerful as those two were serving Demon Lord Rimiru. Though they were not as surprised as they should be, considering that they all died and were brought back to life. Nothing else could shock them again as coming back from the dead. Rimiru looked at Luminous and answered truthfully. Those two were summoned by the two 7 days clergy who came to kill both me and Hinata. They summoned those two as their last trump card. The two demons challenged me and lost. After that, they pledged their undying loyalty to me, and I accepted them and gave them a name like I do for all my subordinates. As for why I need them, I'm in desperate need of a more powerful army at the moment. Everyone became surprised and alerted after hearing what Rimiru said, especially Milim. What do you mean you need an army, Rimiru? Is there any trouble approaching or something? Milim asked in a serious tone. Everyone listened as well to know what would make someone as powerful as Rimiru need an army. Rimiru raised both his hands in surrender. Don't worry, Milim. I promise this is nothing I can't handle. I promise it is nothing I can't handle, but a huge threat will be coming here in a few days soon, and I will be prepared for when it arrives. Depending on how things go, we might need to prepare for war in the coming future. Right, CL? You don't need to feel bad, CL. I already know this threat is coming for me. After all, I sensed it not too long ago. I feel your emotion, and I can feel your emotion. Was all over the place when it first appeared. I do not know who or what it is, but I know that the person is dangerous, and that whoever it is might be stronger than I am. I know I know you are somehow connected to it, and that you feel pain whenever you think of the person. How do you know, Master? Rimuru smiled. We are connected together, as you know. I can feel all your emotions just as you can feel mine. So don't worry, I will wait until you are ready to tell me everything, because I believe in you, partner. The new emotion that CL was feeling was happiness and sadness at the same time. Happiness because her master still believes in her and trusts her, and sadness because she couldn't bring herself to tell her master the truth about what was going on. I promise I'll explain myself when the time comes, Master. I'll be waiting, CL. Everyone couldn't believe what they heard. Someone was going to declare war on Rimiru. Who could it be? Lord Rimiru. This is a matter of utmost importance. We should prepare at once for this coming threat, Mimaru said. That's right, Rimiru. No matter what this person is, I will take them down. I will take down anyone who tries to hurt my best friend, Valdora declared. You said it, Valdora. No one threatens my Rimiru and gets away with it, Milim declared with fire in her eyes. Rimiru smiled at the bond of his friend and fiancé has with him. This made him very happy. Thanks, guys, but you don't need to worry. The threat won't be coming here anytime soon, and I promise we'll be ready for when it arrives. In the meantime, everyone must be tired, and since it's nighttime, why don't you all go to the hot spring and have a little soak to relax yourselves before we have dinner? Wait, you have hot springs here as well? Hinata said with a surprised voice. That's right, Luminous asked. What's that? Luminous asked. Lady Luminous, it will be better to see than try to explain, but trust me, if it is like the hot spring I know of, then it will be a great experience for you, Hinata explained to her. Luminous had an trained look. Well, if you're that sure of it, sure about it, then I'll trust you on it, Hinata. Luminous had an intrigued look. Rimuru nodded, and I forgot to mention, but the hot spring we have will help you recover, Luminous. So take all your time you want in it. Now then, if you all will follow me, Rimuru took the group and they resumed their walk. On the way, different monsters would stop and greet Rimiru, and he will wave at them. It became clear to the paladins on just the amount of trust and respect that the people and monsters in this town had on Rimiru. Rimiru took them to a giant castle the size was out of this world, and it was, in one word, beautiful. The castle looked like something out of a fairy tale. The paladins were surprised that the castle like this was in the city of Rimiru. This castle was beautiful, and they acknowledged the fact. Even Hinata couldn't help but gawk at the sheer beauty of the castle. Rimiru sighed after he saw their expression from seeing the castle. The story of how the castle was built was quite a funny one. So what happened after he returned from the Wolprigs, Diablo and Shinon insisted that their lord deserved to live in a castle befitting his status. Rimiru refused the offer because he preferred to stay in a modest house, but it didn't end there. Shinon went and informed Milim of their plan to build a castle for Rimiru and her, and Milim was all for it. Once Milim got involved, Rimiru had no choice but to accept the offer because he couldn't say no to Milim. The other subordinates heard about it, and they were all on board. Rimiru asked Gale to clear out a large part of land, which Gale immediately did. After that, with the help of Ciel, Rimiru created a castle from scratch using the sub-skill of his ultimate skill, Lord of Fate, which is reality bending. By controlling and manipulating reality, with this skill, he can turn whatever he visualizes into reality. He created the castle with the intention of pleasing Milim. He got a free hug and a lot of kisses after he was done, which he considers a win in his book. After the castle was made, every monster decided to throw a party for the castle of their beloved lord. And that was the story of the castle. And this is the story of the castle. Rimiru called for Shinon, and she appeared along with Carria and Ultima, who were eating cotton candy. Shinon was able to appear, thanks to Carria and Ultima, who possess spatial shift. Rimiru gestured for everyone to look at him. Shinon here will show the ladies to the female section of the hot spring, and Bimaru will show the men to the male section of the hot spring. After everyone is done with their baths, the female maid goblins will take you to the dining room where the feast will be waiting. They all nodded and began to enter the castle. Valdor has since long left the group to continue his reading in his room of the castle, which helped calm Luminous down a little. The paladins entered the castle and were all once again shocked by the sheer beauty of it. Even Luminous was impressed by the beauty of the castle. Everyone admired the beauty as they were all led to their destinations. Rimiru took Milim's hand in his. And shall we go to take our bath, Milim? Milim tightened her hold on his arm and smiled. Let's go, darling. After everything I have been through today, I need a long soak. Rimiru laughed. Yeah. Yeah, you brought this on yourself before jumping to conclusions really quick. Milim pouted. And whose fault is that? I was only trying to look after you and this nation. After all, it's going to be mine as well soon. Rimiru smiled. I appreciate it, my love. And you got one thing wrong. The nation is already yours, and you know. What's mine is yours, now and forever. Both looked at each other, loving before heading to the hot spring, holding each other's hands. You might be wondering why Milim and Rimiru were heading to a different hot spring together than the one the subordinates were using. Well, it happened when Rimiru was in the bath with Shinon, Shina, and the other female goblins. Rimiru was in a slime form, being sandwiched between Shina and Shina's boobs, while Milim was not at all happy about it. She On top of her feeling dejected because of her small breast, she saw her beloved Rimiru being sandwiched by the other females in the hot spring, and it made her upset. She declared that Rimiru should no longer take baths with the other females, except for her. Rimiru was surprised and sad for obvious reasons, but one look at Milim's expression changed his mind. The other females had an understanding look after hearing Milim's request, so Rimiru was asked to make a private hot spring in their castle whenever he wants to soak with Milim, which he did. So Rimiru was banned from going to these baths with other females except for Milim. He didn't mind because of his upset, obvious love for her. Although as a healthy young man or slime, he does miss being sandwiched by other girls. Back to the story. Milim and Rimiru entered their private hot spring and soaked themselves in the cool hot water, and enjoyed the sensation of the hot spring. Milim came to Rimiru's side and relaxed. Milim's face suddenly changed to seriousness, and she looked at Rimiru. "Can I ask you something?" she asked him. Rimiru looked at her and nodded. "Go ahead. If something is bothering you, you can tell me." Milim looked at Rimiru. "Ain't you worried about that the threat has enough power to kill you? Is heading here?" Rimuru sighed. "I'll be lying if I said I wasn't scared. This is the second time I've ever been threatened to this extent, and it frightened me. I got too confident after I got this strong, thinking that nothing can threaten both me and the ones I love again. Both me and my loved ones again, but I was wrong. Even now I can feel this threat and its power. I don't know why it's like we are connected to each other, but its powers are bigger than I have even imagined. Milim brought Rimuru and placed him on her lap. Don't worry, darling. You know that you have me right. I would rather die than to see a single hair on your head hurt by anyone, and if someone wants to harm us, then we will stop that person. When we are together, there is nothing we can't accomplish." Rimuru smiled. "You always know just what to say when I'm feeling down, you know." "Mwahaha, of course I know, darling. After all, I am your bride and your one and only bride," Milim said with pride. "And the only bride I'll ever need," Rimuru said to her, which caused Milim to blush. "Back to what you asked. I've already made preparations for facing this threat, and it's almost complete. If the threat decides to attack, I promise to protect everyone from it." "I know you will, which is the reason why I love you so much," Milim told him. "I know you will." Milim then took Rimuru to the bathing section of the bath. She brought out a sponge and coated in it foam. She looked at Rimuru. "Allow your bride to have the honor of washing you, darling," Milim told him. Rimuru blushed, but didn't object. "If you insist, but I'll be washing you then when you are done." Now it was Milim who blushed, but she didn't object. She began to wash Rimuru, and both began to have fun while bathing together, just like true couples would. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe today to become one of my domestic listeners. Goodbye and peace out, everyone.